Well, the big news today, obviously, in the industry is Southwest Airlines abandoning its bags fly free policy, as we have known it anyway, for the better part of the last 20 years. That's going to be getting a lot of treatment from analysts and other industry observers and bloggers, so we don't really feel the need to go too in-depth on this. Those analyses will speak for themselves, but the bottom line is this: we think this move is really just noise, which isn't to say it's insignificant by any means. But if you can do the math, Southwest's stated goal in terms of operating margin is 10% by 2027. Last year, they had a shade over 1% operating margin. That was about a $2.4 billion gap. They've closed $300 million of that, they say, with their layoffs announced a couple of weeks ago. So they're still $2 billion short. There's no one thing that's going to get them there. They'll have to make some changes to product. Bags fly free, probably one of them. Interestingly, we will say this: as recently as last September at Investor Day, they affirmed that bags fly free got them more market share and money from market share than they would have got from charging bags. So either they've done a different analysis to produce a different number, or the underlying assumptions have changed. And if that's the case, good for Southwest, because that's what's known as second order reasoning, which is understanding why something worked in the past, which helps you know when to make a different decision from the one you've always made. So if that's the case, then that's good, irrespective of what customers might think about it. But ultimately, Southwest is going to have to reconfigure its network. They fly more domestic U.S. customers than any other airline, and yet they produce essentially zero profitability. They have to figure out a way to make money by carrying the most passengers, or else they're going to have to shrink their network. And we think that's ultimately what they're going to have to do, which is going to mean really three things. Some cities are going to fall off the network entirely, and we think there's about 15 or so that Southwest could easily cut, where they don't have a large enough presence to really matter in terms of numbers of customers, and they're losing big margin and big absolute number of loss. But then what's left is they're going to have to focus on reducing the number of cities that they serve nonstop from the remaining cities other than their focus cities. And the cities that are focus cities are going to have to increase their amount of connections in order to make those cities work more. Denver and Midway, just as two examples, lose massive amounts of money, high nine figures in the last 4 quarters alone. So that can't continue. So Southwest is going to have to reconfigure its network, and we're going to probably delve into this in more detail in the days ahead. But those are the kinds of changes we think that are coming. Bags fly free is one, and there will probably be others to product. And in the aggregate, they may add up to something, but they won't add up to enough. So get ready for more change from Southwest in the months ahead.